Good morning, world travelers. So wonderful to see a few familiar faces from the earlier on Viking World Cruise, and I hope that by the end of this cruise I'll get to meet many of you. Well, when I landed up in, actually it was in August, also around Japan for the whole of August, so I came via Narita Airport. And when I landed at the airport, there was a huge sign saying, "Welcome to Japan, the land of longevity." And I thought longevity in so many ways, in tradition, customs, and also, do you know they live, this is the longest lifespan in the world, in Japan. They live, the women, the average is almost 90, the men's 84, and longevity in Japan. And we'll find out why, and maybe the reasons we should actually learn from the Japanese. But today I'm going to talk about more traditional customs and all that what you'll see around you, the iconic customs. And the next lecture will be actually Weird and Wonderful Japan, what you don't see so much and it's not so apparent. And I'll talk about it as well. My name is Nitza Lowenstein. I come from Sydney, Australia. I'm a journalist, cultural historian, public speaker. And if you can see also my picture here, I'm a married celebrant, so my life's very colorful. I was appointed by the Australian Attorney General more than 30 years ago as a married celebrant, and I've been officiating weddings, many weddings around Australia. Also overseas, but my weddings are legal only within territorial waters of Australia. So if you get any idea of getting married, a nice ceremony will do, but for a legal wedding, please come to Australia. Viking has wonderful cruises to Australia as well. So that will be fantastic for you. And I had a long career, almost 36 years at SBS, which is a national SBS Special Broadcasting Service Australia. And I had a radio show covering news, current affairs, and conducting hundreds of interviews with people that made a difference to us, our society. So as I said, today we are concentrating on the culture, traditions in Japan. And as I said in introduction yesterday, my aim is that you walk out and you feel that it really made a difference to your cruise. That now when you see all the sights and magnificent architecture, building, the shrines is Shinto, temples is Buddhist, remember, it's always to distinguish. And you'll really have more knowledge of it and you look at it in totally different perspective. So let's see today what is the iconic customs that I'm sure you all know because they've been going on in Japan for thousands of years, and they're very, very unique to Japan. And this is something about Japan that you won't find in many places around the world, that they develop their own unique traditions. And it is still respected until today with all modernism and technology, and it's a very modern country. Tradition in Japan is still very, very important. So it's really known for this rich ancient culture, and as I said, the tradition going back thousands of years, and they are all these traditions deeply rooted in history. And I've got my colleagues here are going to give you also extra lectures about the history and about each city that will give you also a full picture of the history, that it will all tie together with what I am going to talk about today. So the tradition passed down from generation to generation in Japan, and we're talking from tea ceremonies, calligraphy, the Shinto and Buddhist rituals, and sometimes you don't know what's this and what's that. It's all blended together. So those values are still very much alive in Japan. And the performing arts, the kabuki, no theater, and bunraku, they combine music, dance, drama, and they tell stories and emotions, and the Ikebana, the flower arrangements. So let's find out a bit more about it. Festivals, I told you I was in Japan in August. And August is not the best time to come to Japan because it was extremely hot and humid. But in August, they've got all the big festivals in Japan. And I was really lucky to attend those festivals, which was incredible experience. I can sit here for hours and just tell you what I've seen in August and show you photos from what I've taken on all those festivals. It's really a fantastic experience. But those festivals also are rooted in history, and they pass down, and you see little children dressed up, and that it starts from a very young age in Japan. Also, respect for nature is in the heart of Japanese culture. We all have to remember it. Shintoism, the native Japanese religion, it's absolutely native to Japan. There is no Shintoism anywhere in the world. And it highlights the deep connection, Shintoism, the deep connection between men and nature. That's what's special about Shintoism. And the belief actually seen around you in beautiful gardens, the cherry blossom festivals, and also the architecture around you, blending into the nature around. So even if Japan already said it's a tech leader, and I've got a whole lecture about how Japan emerged, don't miss that one, from the devastation of the atomic bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki to become a world power. This is also a separate lecture. So they've got a high-tech, it's a nation of high-tech robotica, as you'll see, but the cultural heritage blends with modern advancements. It's part of it. So it's alongside. So let's explore the beauty of Japan, but I just want to take you a step back to let you know that, or just discuss it with you, that Japan's isolation led to unique and distinct culture. Why? I said to you at the outset, Japan's culture is extremely unique. Only in Japan you'll see what, and you won't see it anywhere else in the world, although we copy the martial arts and a lot of things, karaoke we copied from Japan, but a lot of things were unique to Japan and came from Japan. But we can see how Japan is isolated, and that's also helped with the development of this unique tradition. So the geography had a very big impact on the culture, not just with isolation, on the culture as well. Frequent natural disasters built resilience. And while strong connection with nature has shaped the country's cultural identity. So Japan is on the Pacific Ring of Fire, making it prone to earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcano eruptions. It's got where all the tectonic plates meet. I've got a whole talk about just the sea around Japan, the importance of the sea, so I'll elaborate a bit more because this is really fascinating. So in response to that, what you see in front of you, the country has developed earthquake resistance buildings and early warning systems, making its people more resilient and also very adaptable to all sorts of situations. So they also influence the architecture because you have to build to make sure that it won't collapse with the next trauma. And apparently there are earthquakes almost on a daily basis. You don't feel them, but but there are earthquakes there all the time. So all the designs are built, and actually they designed to withstand quakes, and the modern architecture continues with all those features. So they used to build it for hundreds of years with mind of the topography and geography of the country. So if you also look around you when you go, even with the cruise ship around Japan, you'll see the coastal area and mountains straight away, mountains. So Japan is really mainly mountainous area. And there is only 30% of Japan is usable for agriculture, housing. Housing is actually quite a small percentage. So because it's all mountains, they can't really build there. So even the rice, they learn how to rice is very important in Japan. They have terrace farming in Japan. And they've got really respect for farming and agricultural cycle. And also it's deeply rooted in the Japanese culture. So, as I said, they live in this kind of surroundings with the 4 seasons, distinct 4 seasons. They developed a deep bond with nature. And we'll see how it also reflects in the art and culture. We are going to Hiroshima. You will see that in Hiroshima, that Torii Gate. This is fantastic, not to be missed. Now, Shinto, I'd like to also discuss a little bit what Shintoism, what is the native religion of Japan. Of course, so it is the native religion, meaning way of kami. Now, kami means gods, the way of the gods in plural. So it dates back to ancient times, beginning in the Jomon period and evolved by blending local customs, nature reverence, and also influences from China and Korea. It was inevitable that they will have into the Shintoism in Japan. So what it is, the way of gods, well, Shintoism honors many gods and spirits, and kami, gods, are found everywhere around you in nature and in objects as well. So it values nature, purity, and rituals, and to stay with harmony with the kami, with the gods. And these beliefs help shape the community and also the national identity. And Shintoism is still a key part of Japanese culture today. By the way, I mean, it's not migration country. If you look about Japan, I think 99 or 98 of the population is native, is actually ethnic Japanese. Very difficult to immigrate to Japan. So Buddhism, you could see Buddhism and Shintoism side by side. Buddhism arrived from Korea and China only around the 6th century AD, only because kami was already hundreds of years, the Shintoism before then. And despite their differences, Buddhism and Shintoism have coexisted peacefully, each playing a unique role in people's lives. This is a Buddha statue in Nara, by the way. And you know that Buddhism actually originated in India, and then went in Southeast Asia, China, and came to Japan as well. So they've got, they profoundly, these two religions, influenced Japan's cultural and spiritual landscape. And the Japanese people blend elements from both religions, Shintoism, and there's no problem with blending Shintoism and Buddhism, but not Christianity. Actually, Christian, when Japan went into isolation, talking about 16th, 17th, 18th century, Christians were not welcome to Japan, and Japanese that already converted Christianity were persecuted at that time. But that's part of history. I'm sure my colleague will talk about it as well when he talks about history. So it had a major impact, that the Shintoism and Buddhism on developing the art, culture and architecture in Japan. So you see the Buddhist temples, as I said to you, the temples is Buddhist, and when you talk about so when you say temple, it's always a Buddhist temple. They are famous for distinct styles and the statues and icons, and they also influence the paintings and sculpture in Japan. And the distinct seasons in Japan, you've got cherry blossoms in the spring and vibrant autumn foliage. I'm still waiting. We are in October to see the things turning a bit red, because I've been in Japan, as I said, you have been before, during the cherry blossoms around end of March, April, which is magnificent. But I believe this time of the year is just magnificent as well. So it also deeply influenced the culture and the traditions. And the seasons awareness, you'll find it reflects in the art, in poetry, and also in Japanese cuisine. So the long coastline, I mean, you saw the map before, surrounded by sea, it fosters very strong coastal culture. And fishing is a key industry and food source, with coastal regions boasting unique culinary traditions, because on the Pacific Ocean side, you'll find different kind of fish than around Hiroshima, which is the inner sea of Japan, or the Sea of Japan. So you've got different type of fish all around Japan. So even the region, it's developed differently. So the Japanese cuisine, they call it washuku, emphasize fresh, seasonal ingredients and very careful presentation. It's known for its balanced flavors and beautiful presentations, and dishes like sushi, sashimi. I mean, we all know it. I mean, our children, my grandson, he loves sashimi. I don't know where this 10-year-old loves eating. I mean, from the age of 5, he's eating sashimi. And let me tell you, I was in August, went to a Japanese restaurant with few passengers, and they couldn't touch the raw fish because they never tasted it before. So it's all a matter of what you are getting used to. So the traditional cooking methods like grilling, steaming, and simmering brings out natural flavors of the ingredients. So that's very important for them to retain the flavor. And the tradition reflects also the geography, the climate, focusing on seasonal change. Every season you'll get maybe different fish or different type of food that is actually growing at that season, that time of the year. So also look at that. Wherever you go, the Japanese cuisine focuses on beautiful presentations. I mean, even the ordinary housewife in Japan will present the food at home in a beautiful way, because there's respect for food as well. You don't just plunk it on the table, and with so it doesn't happen in Japan like that. Now, the Japanese tea ceremonies been practiced for centuries. We heard in my colleague was talking about it, that even the samurai practiced the tea ceremony for mindfulness and all that. But it's rooted also in China's tea culture. That's what originally it arrived. And Buddhist monks, that's how tea arrived into Japan. And merchants who traveled to China brought back knowledge of preparation and a spiritual meaning. So it's originated in China, but completely had its own road development in Japan. You won't find tea ceremonies like that in China, I promise you. So Zen Buddhism had a strong influence on the Japanese tea ceremonies, focusing on mindfulness, simplicity, and living at the moment, like living right now. You concentrate what's happening right now, not worrying what happened yesterday or what tomorrow brings. You can't help it. Gone, done. You don't know what the future brings. So live the moment, and it helps spirits. It's not just done, drink tea, pouring, and that's it. It's first of all, it's in a special room. The ceremony promotes balance, harmony, and tranquility. I mean, I don't have patience for that. Ladies and gentlemen, in the West, with our fast life, I mean, can you take 2 hours to drink a cup of tea? I just can't imagine it. But apparently, it's very good for you. So So a skilled host carefully oversees every detail, from making the tea to serving to the guests. So it is an experience. So matcha is that green tea, is the heart of the tea ceremony. It's vibrant green, beautiful green color, and got unique flavor. I really like drinking the green tea. Try it. It's also an acquired taste. And also, you don't just mix it with a spoon. Oh no, there are very special whisks to actually mix it together. And it's served also the utensils, and you have to have beautiful handmade ceramic or porcelain bowl. You don't just throw it into a paper cup. Oh no. So the tea ceremony follows a series of purposeful actions, each with its own meaning and symbolism, each one of them. So it's including handling the tea utensils, pouring the tea, and offering the tea to the guest. By the way, in Japan, you'll see even if you give a credit card, you'll get it back in two hands. Everything that nobody gives you with anything with one hand is out of respect. Gifts, cards, business cards, always two hands. Note it. Watch for it. So the tea houses, look at the tea houses they were built for the tea ceremonies. It's simple, nothing fancy about it. Rustic designs with tatami mats. Tatami mats are all over Japan. That's why you take off your shoes. We'll talk about it because you walk on tatami mats with shoes, you'll ruin them in 1 minute. And also the sliding doors and art displays, and it creates a serene, very peaceful atmosphere. That's the idea. I think it's part of our relaxation meditation. So it's a key part of the culture, the tea ceremonies, and as I said, mindfulness, simplicity, etc. It's highly respected, and if you have a chance to attend a tea ceremony, even once, I think it's quite an experience. Now, the geisha. I think as a child, I was fascinated with books, with the pictures of photos of geishas with the white face, and who are these unbelievable ladies? They are unbelievable ladies, by the way. So it's originated in late 17th century, early 18th century as female entertainers, and especially in Kyoto's tea houses. But today, I mean, you go in the UK, you'll go to the pub, you'll go wherever to entertain yourself. Men used to go to the tea houses, 17th, 18th century, and these ladies were the entertainers in those tea houses. So to become a geisha, the training starts when the girl is 15. She's got to be extremely beautiful and smart, highly intelligent, and it's very intensive training, and it's guided by senior geishas. It's not just happening. And they live in geisha houses. They actually don't see their families. It's quite sad because when they're taken into the geisha houses, I think the families in the olden days used to get paid, and the poor families were very happy. It was a very big honor if your daughter was beautiful and intelligent to be chosen. But they had no connection with the families because they had to concentrate on the training. So they were learning, all what they learned was the traditional art, singing, dancing, conversations. So they were able to conduct conversation on a higher level. So they had to have knowledge of the world around them as well. And they had to do the tea ceremonies, perform it beautifully, and also recite poetry. So they are known for their distinctive look, white makeup, elaborate hairstyle, elegant kimonos. This is just a poor, cheap copy. That's not a real kimono. You try and get into a real kimono. It's heavy. It's a whole business getting into a kimono, and you have to wear it this way and that way, and it's heavy. And they have these obi sashes. I'll talk all about it. And Kyoto is the heart of the geisha tradition. And by the way, geishas are not prostitutes. You don't expect to get more favors from a geisha, even if you befriend the geisha. They are entertainment and companionship. And it's always been like that. And though the numbers decreased, they still play a key role in preserving and promoting the traditional culture in Japan. So now there is almost a move back to encourage young ladies to become geishas. And I think they're very well paid now to become a geisha. And as I said, it's a lot of training. So this is the iconic symbol of Japan, the cultural heritage. And by the way, as I said, they were not expected to have intimate relationship with their customers. But when they became old, and I'm talking about 30 years old, do you know, when you are 10, you think 30 is an ancient, but when you reach your 60s, 30 is so young, it's half your age. So when you are all the ripe age of 30, 35, you can leave the profession and get married. It's not like nuns, and you can even marry a former client. It happened a lot. So that they can have a family if they really wish. So kimonos, as I mentioned, the kimonos. Kimono in Japanese means something to wear. And they are traditional garments. They're very known for the elegant and magnificent, intricate designs. And today even, people wear kimonos. I was in Tokyo beginning of September and walking around and near the temples and the shrines, and lots of young women were walking around in kimonos. It's quite amazing. They like to wear them. But for weddings, for parties, for special occasions, they wear kimono. I saw a little girl yesterday. She was 5-year-old. They celebrated her special birthday outside the shrine, a beautiful Shinto shrine. And she was dressed with a gorgeous kimono. Can you imagine a 5-year-old? And her hair was done, and it was really something to see. She was so pretty. So it's mainly for formal occasions now. Now, you ask where the kimono started, what's the history? Also, it's very unique to Japan. It's going back to the Heian period. We're talking about from 800 to about 1185. Where nobility wanted to create a unique style. They wanted to look different than the peasants. I mean, they had really distinct social structure in Japan. And if you're high up, you want to look different. You want to dress different. So that's how it started. So it's got square sleeves and rectangular body worn by wrapping the left side over the right. As I said, there is a special way and there are lots of places now that in Japan, if you go around Japan, that you can actually try a kimono for, I don't know, for $5 and take a photo. They give you everything, including a wig to put on your head. Now, the yukatas, yukata means bathrobe. They are simple. They are unlined cotton versions of kimonos. And so a lot of Westerners, they go to Japan, they like to buy the yukatas because they are much lighter than kimonos. And they were worn during the summer festivals in Japan and also as bathrobes. They've got this, and I talk about the culture of going to the bathhouses here. So that's what it used like that. And both kimonos and yukatas worn with a broad sash, and the sash is called an obi. You can see the obi at the back with lots of accessories. You don't just wear a kimono. It's got to have this obi, the sash, and it's got to have the right shoes, the right jewelry. It's all tied together. So the Zori sandals and Tabi socks, and you ask, what are these? Did you try and walk with that? This is the traditional footwears and the split toe socks. If you wear things like this and you want socks, this is the place to get them in Japan. And geta, look at the shoes. What are the geta? Is those wooden sandals with raised soles supported by 2 blocks called teeth. You see, it looks like teeth. And I saw in August during the festival, hundreds and hundreds of young ladies in magnificent costume. They walk on the geta like this, not straight. I don't know how they could keep their feet like that for hours and walking like that. Just walking like there is no problem in the world. I tried to get into one. I couldn't even go one step with them. Try. This is interesting. Now, Zori are things that they are flat. They've been in Japan for hundreds of years, and also the inspiration for our flip-flops in the West. And there are thongs really made from different materials. And you can see there are lots of shops in Japan, especially in rural cities. You'll see big shops that only sell Japanese-style shoes. Now they know that the 16-year-old, 600 years old. That's the theater. I'm looking at the time because I don't want to run out of time. It's a dance drama from the 14th century. It's one of Japan's oldest and most respected theater forms, and it's blend poetry, music, dance, and masks to tell stories about supernaturals and human beings. And the shoguns absolutely loved it. They used to perform in front of the shoguns and the high class in Japan. Now, the masks, look at the no masks. Depict everything you want to find. Ghosts, women, deities, with detailed craftsmanship. They had particular masks that for each character. And if you can think about the Greek theater, Greek mythology and culture is also my favorite. They had a happy mask, and on the other side of the head, they had a sad mask. So if you are sad, you turn your back. And if you are happy, you come. That was in the Greek theater. The No theater is actually much more complicated. It's a UNESCO World Heritage. And the plays, I mean, they come, the themes, you can't just make a story. It comes from the literature, history, art, from the tradition, their own traditions. And it's actors. They have intense training in vocal and physical skills to be part of it. And look at the stage. It's minimalist stage. And the stage will always look like that. And the performance, they have a chorus and musicians playing a traditional Japanese music. Now, kabuki theater, kabuki in Japanese means sing, dance. That's what it means. It's a very vibrant form of theater that began in the early 17th century. It started with both male and females. Actually, a female started the kabuki theater, and it was introduced by a shrine maiden called Izumo. It's very famous in Japan. However, the Tokugawa shogunate later, they just banned women from the stage because a lot of men used to come and want to see the women on the stage performing this kabuki theater. So it's everything. Even female roles are acted by male actors since then. So, and some of the actors, they actually specialize in female roles. And they wear very elaborate makeup with striking white faces to symbolism a special character and the traits of this character. It's either a hero or a villain. And again, it's based on traditional stories, mythology, and culture. and very dramatic. Now, I went to a kabuki theater many years ago. First time I was in Japan. I was young then, in 1986. I remember still, went to a kabuki theater. I was so impressed. Because doesn't matter, I didn't understand anything. But just to be part, to witness that sort of drama is quite incredible. So if you can go to a kabuki theater, if you don't mind noise, and because it's very hard to really follow it up as a Westerner, but it is a unique experience, absolutely unique experience. So it's really still part of the culture, and look at these elaborate costumes there. And bunraku, it's also a puppet theater. It's interesting, all Southeast Asia, a lot have puppet theater in Indonesia and Bali, and also in Japan it developed, but it's very elaborate, the bunraku, the puppet theater. This is part of it. It's also recognized by UNESCO as World Heritage. Now, traditional martial art, they are actually started with the samurai combat tactics. They had to develop different tactics, the samurai, and they actually promote physical fitness, self-discipline, and personal growth. It's all part of martial arts. So arts like judo, karate, all sorts of them. There are different types. They all stand for different philosophy and different movements, different techniques and training. So the martial art also combined Zen Buddhism and focusing on self-discipline, respect, and personal growth, as I said. And now, after the Second World War, it's actually spread around the world. So when my 5-year-old then asked to go to do taekwondo or judo or whatever, all the kids in the primary school in a suburb of Sydney were doing martial arts in the 90s and late 80s already. So ninjas, you always hear ninja, ninja turtle, ninja. This is actually come also from Japanese traditions. They were expert in martial art and also espionage. They were the spies. And they worked for the samurais. They gathered information behind the animals line, the enemy supply lines, and they disguised themselves as civilians or monks. And the image of ninjas in black comes from the Edo theater. They were already all wearing black. Now, sumo wrestling. Have you ever seen this? The first time I saw a sumo wrestler, I was in an absolute shock. I couldn't believe anyone can get to that size. But it's got thousands of years of history, and it originated from Shinto rituals to test strength and power. That's the origin of this wrestling. And the goal is to push your opponent, push them out of the ring, or make any part of their body touch the ground. That's the principle, very simple. So matches are very brief and intense. And let me tell you, they build their size through intense training and high-calorie diets and whatever, just to get to that size. And the larger one, of course, has more advantage because, can you imagine push him down to the ground? No ways. And also they can absorb the impact. Whatever you do to them, they've got enough fat to protect themselves. And by the way, that to become one takes many years, and they are very famous in Japan. They earn a lot of money. But let me tell you, they pay the price with poor health later on. I don't know, they are not part of this longevity in Japan. Now, language is very central to Japanese culture. Calligraphy, or they call it shodo, is the art of brush writing rooted in Chinese writing. That's how it came to Japan. I'm talking about 2,000 years ago. And it uses Chinese character, the Japanese one using the Chinese characters, but to express also emotion and aesthetics, not just words. And Shodo, the calligraphy, it was influenced by Zen Buddhism, focused on mindfulness and harmony. You concentrate when you write. And little kids, I mean, it's like a meditation. Little kids learn it at school. It's quite amazing, this art. And it's a key part of Japanese culture. And I saw a beautiful T-shirt, and it had a nice picture and really nice writing, calligraphy. And the person next to me said, "Oh, but I can't read the Japanese." I said, "It doesn't matter. Look how beautiful it is. Just the writing, it's art. It's just art." Now, you can see that it goes beyond writing. It encourages creativity, meditation with deeper appreciation for the language. And as I said, kids also learn it at school. Now, origami is the art of folding paper into shapes. No scissors, ladies and gentlemen, no glue, blending precision with creativity. And it ranges from very simple animals to intricate designs. And in Shinto rituals, origami features all the figures in there symbolize offering. And the samurai actually used origami to create models for the strategy, for helmets and all that. They use a lot of origami, the samurais. Now, folding thousands of origami cranes symbolizes hope, healing, and peace. And it gained popularity after the Second World War through that girl. Her name was Sadako Sasaki, and she actually, she was from Hiroshima. She, at the age of 10, developed leukemia because she was from the atomic bomb. There were lots of victims later on. And she started folding origami with the hope, because there is a legend. If you have, you manage to fold 1,000 cranes, your wish will come through. So she didn't manage, she died before she managed to do it, but the tradition continues around the world. And when you go to Hiroshima, Peace Park and all that, you'll see a whole place just for the girl. There is a big statue there, and schools from all over the world sending folded cranes, this origami, to that place to honor that girl, and also with the hope of world peace. And that's what it is. Now, Ikebana is a living flower. That's what it is in Japanese. It's going back to the 6th century, Ikebana, and it also influenced by Zen Buddhism, and it focuses also simplicity, balance with nature, turning flowers arrangement into reflect nature around you, and it focuses on minimalism and negative space. It includes just few flowers and bunches and arranged to create this special balance and tranquility. And they take lots of elements different, what they consider the color, as everything got symbolic meaning. And also you use seasonal flowers. I told you 4 seasons. You wouldn't use cherry blossom in August because it doesn't exist. But so it's actually encourage you to be creative and do something with the nature around you. So it's more than just flower arrangement. It's a cultural practice that encourage also deep connection with nature. Now, bonsai. I love to see bonsais because these are trees that are grown in containers. Big trees that suddenly became these miniature midget trees, and it started actually in the 6th century that it became really symbolism of a Japanese. The bonsai is very famous now around the world, and it symbolizes harmony with nature. and the aristocrats used to do it. Now, the cherry blossom, the sakura, this is, as I said to you, I was in April, not this year, before COVID-19. I was just before in Japan, and it's unbelievable experience. It's a really cherished symbol in Japan, and representing life's contemporary nature. That's what it is, the sakura, because it comes and then goes. And we are all here, we come and go. And renewal in spring, symbolizing. So the brief blossom reflect that nothing is permanent, actually. And it's a theme that is seen in lots of art and literature, the sakura. So the cherry blossom is a really beloved tradition where people picnic under the sakura tree. I was in Kyoto during those sakura day celebrations. It was unbelievable experience, like friends, families, and all these lights on the trees. It was something to witness. So many regions hold sakura festivals to celebrate. Now you can see the sakura in countless work of art, poetry, literature. Now Japanese gardens, I'm sure you'll have an opportunity to visit a Japanese garden that are known for the detailed, incredible design, reflecting nature with ponds, bridges, stone, and very well-kept plants. This is magnificent. It's also based from a style, there's some from Zen gardens, focus on simplicity, and some to stroll, that you can walk around and enjoy the nature around you. So again, they've got deep respect for nature, the harmony, and the art of landscape. We learned a lot from the Japanese when it comes to the art of landscape. Thank you so much for coming. Before I go, I want to let you know that next time I'm going to talk about weird and wonderful Japan. This is the unusual tradition and customs in Japan that you don't even see so much. It's not so apparent. But now when you hear that, you'll see it, you'll recognize it. I'm talking about the capsules hotel, the love hotels, the robotica in Japan, the pachinko parlors. I don't know if you ever heard about the pachinko parlor. You probably already used the Toto, these very special toilets in Japan that even makes an experience going to the bathroom in Japan. By the way, even public toilets in a rural Japan will have a proper Toto, a proper toilet. It's something to say about Japan. And the other thing I'm going to talk about, did you know that they produce more nappies, you call them diapers in America, for adults than for children? Because of the aging population. So I've got a lot to tell you more about Japan when we talk about weird and wonderful Japan. Thank you.